This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne, and today I have for you 8 stories in our queue that were vetted by you as some of the most conversational stories that happened in the past day. And you let us know these stories covering information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. They include stories about Logan Paul, McDonald's, and birthday wishes to some great folks, birthday twins of the boy band Persuasion and The Edge. So we love that, guys. We'll give you that and more. I will explain more of the vetting process, how we got the stories in here, how we picked those stories, and how you actually helped us pick them in a bit. So stick around for all those things. And we will give you a bit of the normal hash of the big time news. But remember, we are your supplemental source of news. So we got to give you some things that you might have been missed out there in the daytime where everybody talked essentially all day about J.D. Vance blasting Tim Walz. That's basically all that happened yesterday if you watch your cable news networks. Not exactly the truth. So go to our information, go get more information on us by going to our website at thisisaconversationproject.com. All the information about what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and some wheres we do it. Plus, you can email us with your conversational comments at the conversation inbox at gmail.com. As we said, we have 8 stories for the queue from yesterday. Today happens to be Thursday, August the 8th, 2024. And these are 8 stories that you deem were pretty highly meant to talk about. And we're going to start off with this guy right here, Logan Paul, who is a very controversial, very pretty much a firecracker, pretty much a lightning rod of things to talk about. Right now, he's got some issues. He just lost his title in WWE. Following that, he's a pretty big, good athlete. Good on that one. He is suing a guy named CoffeeZilla, not his real name, for exposing one of his other crypto functions as more or less a fraud, or at least for showing that Logan Paul is not actually paying up on that one. So he's suing him on a kind of a weird lawsuit, just kind of shut him up. Here's a case where he is now being sued. This is Logan Paul. And the headline for the number one story for the day is that the Prime supplier, a supplier for Prime owned by Logan Paul, is suing the energy drink company for $68 million deals that were essentially promised to them in the front end. From the story by the robot editor as written, Logan Paul's Prime Hydration is facing a lawsuit from its suppliers, Refresco, which claims that Prime abruptly cut ties as demand for the product fell. Refresco is suing for $67 million, alleging the breach of contract and deceptive practices. This lawsuit adds the other legal challenges faced by Prime, including a recent suit by the U.S. Olympic Committee over the unauthorized use of Olympic branding. So Logan Paul has issues. He has a lot of issues. He has a lot of things where, he became a popular YouTuber for doing super silly, stupid stuff and used that to kind of springboard himself to other fame. I'm saying this, this is not anything you can really dispute. But since then, he's gone into use that fame to make other business, make other things, and just sort of use his hype to do a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, sometimes the hype doesn't live up to it. And right now, Prime and Logan Paul are dealing with a lot of backlash from this. Is he a bad guy? I don't know. I really don't know him. And all the things I've said in the past about him and his brother just being goofy guys on the internet, it's because they're goofy guys on the internet. And yeah, part of it might be a bit of jealousy because they get some fame. They get juice that I don't have. At the same time, they're also pulling bad business deals, or seemingly pull bad business deals at the same time. Or essentially everybody's picking on them because they're famous. Your mileage may vary on your Logan Paul knowledge or your Logan Paul likes, but Logan Paul and Prime, which, he is claimed to be one of the top hydration brands, which is a new category of drinks, apparently isn't as top as it ought to be or should be or is in reality, except for all the branding and all the, overly packaging of it. So you see it everywhere. So you believe it is. And because of that, they're trying to pull out as many deals as possible to save face, maybe save some bucks. The story for headline number 2 deals with Harvard, a long-standing story with Harvard. As the headline reads, Harvard failed its Jewish students, that's a quote, and must face anti-Semitism lawsuit, says a judge. Now, Harvard University is going to face a lawsuit that's alleged that they failed to protect its Jewish students from anti-Semitism on campus. Lawsuit follows an incident that intensified after October 7. October 7, of course, was the last year was the infamous attack by Hamas on Israel. Plaintiffs claim that Harvard did nothing to do anything, no adequate measures, nothing to take care of the stop or just deter any anti-Semitic behavior, which, is pretty much famous, going on forever, but got really, really amped up after October 7th. And they argue that it created a whole hostile environment for the Jewish students on campus. Judge Richard Stearns ruled that the claims against Harvard were plausible enough to proceed with a lawsuit. So no resolution yet, but a lawsuit will now go forward, or essentially will go forward soon once they pull the right together right pieces against Harvard for saying that it was not a accommodating campus for Jewish students, allowing Jewish students to be persecuted, for lack of a better word. I'm sure they'll make a better legal word for that one, but it looks like a lawsuit will come forward against Harvard itself for anti-Semitism. Will other universities across the nation follow suit and have similar things? We shall see. Essentially, as Harvard is dealing with a whole lot of issues on anti-Semitism, of course, Harvard is dealing with issues on being discriminatory issues for Asian students not getting into Harvard because of quotas and affirmative action. Harvard, one of our more storied institutions and one of our longest lasting institutions, not doing so well on a PR standpoint at the moment. Here's a story that's not going to shock you, but should actually put you in a place where you should wonder what you can do about this. Literally, what you can do about this. Sugary drink consumption among kids climbed nearly 23% over 3 decades, study finds. A recent study published by BMJ reveals that sugary drinks consumptions over the last 30 years, 3 decades, have increased in children about 23%. Study conducted by researchers in the United States highlight the significant rise in the intake of sugary beverages by kids, which raises concerns over the associated health risks such as obesity and dental problems. One of the issues, going back to Logan Paul, of course, is hydration drink. It's not water. I don't know what's in it. I've never actually had Prime before. It might as well be, whatever is in it. But what's in it to make it hydrationable, not a real word, and people to drink it over water, probably some sort of sugary-like thing. It's no surprise that we are all consuming more sugar because it's more available. Our kids are consuming more sugar because it's more available and easier to get to. We had a discussion at my workplace today. It's a college, but we had an issue about the vending machines and how the vending machines have become a staple of what goes on in the college campuses. And, if a company's not making enough, literally not drinking enough sugar water out of the vending machines, they go away. The vending machines are a staple in high schools, in some cases middle schools across the nation. And, of course, you go to the snack bar, you go to watch a game, and you go get a Coke or a Gatorade and whatever going forward. It's more of a staple. It's less of a treat to get a Coca-Cola than it is just go get one off the shelf, go get one off the vending machine and go forward, because it's more of a norm. With that, more kids are drinking more sugary drinks. What does that mean for us as humans? Well, we're not brushing our teeth very well. We're not doing trips to the dentist very well. So it means we got issues with both our teeth, that's dental problems, and obesity, because they're literally extra calories. A Coke with your Happy Meal is extra calories that you would not be thinking about because you're not thinking about them. It's something that comes to that does not surprise me, but also should motivate you to say we should put more glasses of water in our meals and have less Cokes and Kool-Aid and drinks like that in the big meals and in snack time. Let's do that, folks. Our number 4 story. We keep bringing this up because we kind of have to. NASA delays next crew launch to buy more time at space station for Boeing's troubled capsule. NASA decided to delay its next astronaut launch to allow more time at the International Space Station for Boeing and their new crew capsule to figure out what's wrong with it to get the guys that are stuck up there. The encountered issues that happened months ago for a crew that went up there to spend basically 2 weeks up there and will now maybe stuck up there till November is an issue. The Boeing CST-100 Starliner spacecraft went up to the base station as an alternative to what's being done by the Russians and, of course, what's being done by Elon Musk. But because it apparently doesn't work very well and they're kind of afraid it may come back to Earth and blow up, they've been delayed. It's been years of delays of getting things done and billions of dollars past where they should have been in money-wise in the budget for Starliner and Boeing to get something going. And right now, they've got a capsule that's stuck in space right now and people who are stuck in space as well. This is not a good look for Boeing, who has issues with its actual airplanes that we're not actually talking about today, but they're there. And the big space plane not actually doing so well. And these two people who are stuck up there, I'm sure they're okay because they're astronauts and they're cool with that. But, a 2-week tour turning into an 8-month tour, where you literally can't leave the place should be a bit of an issue. Here's an issue that we've not gone to for a while, but it makes the situation even scarier when we think more about it. The crew of the Titan sub knew they were going to die before the implosion, according to more than a $50 million lawsuit. The family of a French explorer who died in the Titan submersible implosion has filed a lawsuit seeking over $50 million. Lawsuit alleges that the crew knew they were going to die before the submersible imploded. The family claims that the company responsible for the submersible, OceanGate, failed to ensure the safety of the crew, leading to the fatal disaster during the expedition in the Titanic wreck. Remember, this submersible, not a real submarine, went down to see the Titanic, and it was, it's basically a big old metal tube with some cameras, and that was guided by a Xbox controller, and it took you down low enough to see the wreckage. Unfortunately, there were issues with the actual submersible, which led to an implosion. Literally, it's basically sucking on itself and crushing itself in. But the lawsuit alleges that the people in the ship knew that there was no hope, and they were pretty much waiting to die, either to suffocate or just have the whole thing kill them completely. And because of that pain and cruelty, OceanGate is being sued. OceanGate is being sued. For a lot of reasons, OceanGate is being sued. Who else is being sued? Well, not quite there yet, but Bank of America and Wells Fargo are under investigation for handling of customers' funds on the Zelle platform. Now, Zelle is a very popular platform for the folks out there who know about it. It's if you don't use a thing like a Cash App or Venmo, or because they're not actual banks, Zelle is a app or essentially a company that works as a go-between for actual banks to allow you to send money between your bank to another actual bank. I say actual bank on purpose because of what's going on there. Apparently, the actual banks that are Wells Fargo and Bank of America, two banks that I actually own stock in and two banks that have done very shady things in the past, are being investigated for doing shady things in the relative past with their handling of fund of Zelle. Now, go to the link and check out the story and go deeper into the story so you know more about what's happening with this story. But if you're a user of Zelle or a user of Bank of America or Wells Fargo, particularly with Zelle, this is something to look into. Now, will other banks be looked into? Probably so, because it's probably just a process thing that maybe these two banks found some way they could kind of skirt around some sort of regulation or law, make a little extra change off of it. And so other banks figured it out as well. But check out the story, the article, so you go full detail on how it happened and what's going on and what they're looking for. And if you're a user of Zelle, this is something you very need to think about. And I'm glad you tuned in today because it's something that you might not have heard, something you might not have caught. Maybe you need to. If you're a Costco shopper, you might want to know about this one. If you've not renewed your membership and you've been going in, flashing your card and going by, I've went through my Sam's membership with my old card for forever until literally wasn't fraud. Literally somehow they managed to merge my account with another John Payne account. So we had to basically rebuild the whole account. I'd been using my digital account by then anyway, because it's easier to use the card than flashing the plastic card. But, I had my card that's literally 15 years old in my wallet, even though they changed other stuff. Costco is going to start scanning membership cards at the entrance to see if you're an actual member. You just want to go in there and grab a hot dog or a slice of pizza and just wander around the stores and just, chill. That's not going to be such an easy thing for Costco goers because Costco subscribers will have to prove their worth by scanning their cards moving forward. You have to present them at self-checkout to scan because you have to buy stuff. But they're going to actually start requiring members to present their memberships as they come in because they want security. They want people just wandering in there. They want people who are actually paying customers to come into Costco. And if you're not a paying customer, I'm sure they'll sell you a membership, either temporary or a full-time one with upgrades as best as possible. Our number 8 story of the day, and the headline says it all. McDonald's taps into nostalgia with collectible cup drop. McDonald's has launched a new promotion featuring collectible cups as part of their collector's meals. Yay! Adult Happy Meals are back, at this time they're cups. It's not Tom and Jerry jelly cups. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you have definitely missed out on a great life, great childhood. But McDonald's has launched a new promotion with collector's meals that allows them to attract both customers and customers and collectors should say, with limited edition cups with unique designs. They're designs that have various McDonald's sort of theme stuff on them or some Disney things out there. So there's a Hello Kitty cup out there. There's various different promotions they've had that you can get in limited times for exclusive collectible cup eligibility. Look for them to come into a store to you extremely soon because they ain't no stopping these things. The fact that adults want Happy Meals is a one thing that's really kind of bizarre. But the fact that you got to get a toy to it and make you pay an extra $2-3 for it to get Zed Cup is going to be a thing. So check it out. Collector's Cups coming to McDonald's. Like I said, they're not the Tom and Jerry jelly jars, but there's something akin to it. Let's move on to our teaser story for the day. And the picture does not do it justice. There was like videos going back and forth, and it was hard to stop in a good place. But here's the headline that we could talk about tomorrow. We didn't do a lot of Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Tim Walz. We talked about J.D. Vance attacking Tim Walz's record in the teaser part. But we didn't do a lot of stuff on that one because that's where you're getting from your mainstream news. Here for supplemental, we try to give you some things that were fun and conversational. The cups things from McDonald's, the Logan Paul thing as well. Here's a story that's going to be mainstream because this is what's really happening right now. This is a story that's really big, and we're going to keep covering it. The headline for this story from MSNBC, it's different in the picture, but the headline that was read in the Chiron that we wrote up so you can see it, so it's understood. Kamala Harris still preparing for September 10 debate on ABC, regardless of whether or not Donald Trump shows. Donald Trump is pulling out or trying to pull out of the ABC debate that he agreed to with Joe Biden. One, he didn't necessarily need it because Joe Biden just basically showed he was bad in the first one. So two, Trump is suing ABC because it's George Stephanopoulos. So Trump said there's this alternate debate that'll be 6 days earlier on the September 4th. The Fox is going to hold. It's going to be in Pennsylvania someplace. They'll take care of it. Fox has not said anything about that because they're not actually holding the debate. Meanwhile, ABC is like, we still get this in the books. And Kamala Harris is like, well, I'm going to be there. So it could be a very long infomercial for Kamala Harris if Trump doesn't actually show up. And the Fox thing doesn't happen because it's probably not going to. They'll probably give him an interview to save face. This whole thing is a crazy bunch of BS at this point. But we've got to vote for somebody. Suffice it to say, I've gone way too long in this teaser story. Do you want to talk about Kamala Harris going to show up in a parking lot at ABC, even though Donald Trump doesn't show up to call him a chicken, I guess, or not? This is how we get our stories, and we talk about the stories that are conversational. You deem them conversationals. Go to our feeds on Facebook and X. Those are our links, our sites on Facebook and X. X.com/th_conversation and Facebook.com/thisisconversation project. Every 50 minutes or so, we post an article from various places. MSNBC is one. Fox News is another. ESPN Sports, sometimes, well, not the Epic Times, but sometimes we'll do go along those lines. So some things that may make you scratch your head and give you a chance to engage in news stories that you may not have seen in other places. And some, of course, you see everywhere with maybe the not expected article spin on that one. You engage in the stories, and the more engagement you give to it, the more you click on emoji faces, and the more you like it, the more you read it, the more you do things with that. Higher score gets to the article, and the more better chance of talking about it. We take the top half of stories in a day, and then we give 8 of those stories some love in the actual headlines. That's what we did today. If Kamala Harris showing up to debate Donald Trump, even though Donald Trump probably won't show up, is a story you want to talk about, make it a top story. We'll more than likely talk about it tomorrow. We're going to talk very quickly about Robinhood. Robinhood is an app. Yes, Robinhood is an app for helping you manage money and stocks. Yeah. Robinhood has seen a whole lot of infamy in the last couple of years. Yeah. Robinhood is all that. There's also a great place for you to learn about how managing your money and how actual investing works. And you can do it. You must have discipline because stocks and investments do lose money. They lose money all the time, but over time, stock markets is somewhere around 8% a growth for, last couple of decades. If you put money in now and wait 10 years, it'll be up 8% or more likely on average. That is how it works out as things go up and go down. So with Robinhood, you control your money and your investments. You don't have to have $10,000 to buy Berkshire Hathaway. You can buy $100 worth of it and get a fractional share and make that money on its own. You can buy various crypto coins if you like them because I don't know why, but buy your crypto and earn some money or sell it quick if you want to. You can do things like short sales and things like margin calls on Robinhood because they have those options features there. You can save your money because they have one of the highest interest rates for money that's being saved on an online banking platform. They are attached to a bank. They are not a bank. They're attached for a bank for purposes of holding your money that is FDIC insured. And you can buy GameStop to the moon if that's what you want to do. Robinhood is a great way to invest your money. You can set up an IRA directly with Robinhood, a direct deposit with Robinhood. You can use them as a bank. I wouldn't say they have them as your primary bank, but use them as a bank. And remember, as I said many times, as I'm telling you right now, on Monday, you got a chance to see investments can lose money, and often some of them do. Some of them don't come back. So if you are doing your own research and able to just man up and take lumps on your own, you can probably do very well on your own investing using Robinhood. And use our link at our website for a commission for us. We get a small commission for you getting the app onto your phone, onto your computer, however you're going to use it, by going to thisisaconversationproject.com/Robinhood. This is conversationproject.com/Robinhood. We get a small commission for you joining in on them. Your first deposit gives us a little kickback, and you still get a free stock if you're brand new to the platform. So check it out today. This week, at this point, now's the time to maybe sort of sit that back and hold. But after the big mini crash from Monday, it's a good chance to get in on some cheaper stock that now have more or less rebounded or on their way back to a rebound very soon, and see how things are going. If you've been out of the loop of investing, because I can't stop making content, I'm going to have a fairly new investing sort of channel, maybe not YouTube, but a channel, if you will, just a way to get some investing advice, because doing the research helps me do my own research for my own stuff. So doing research I give to you to get as well. Research is my love language, I guess. But you can buy the stocks on your own. You can manage it on your own, and you can cry in the corner if you lose money on your own. So be careful with that. Stocks investments can lose money, so be careful with that. I am not your investment advisor. I'm just a guy doing my own investigations, doing my own research, and sharing with you so that you can hopefully get into the research part, not so much so we can make big gobs of money, but I hope we make big gobs of money. Very quickly, because I'm going a little long today, the Conversation Project lives online at thisisaconversationproject.com. If you consider going to our sponsorship page or our partnerships page, so you can help us fund things going on here, so I'm not out there gambling on the stock market or gambling in casinos trying to make payroll. You can literally be a part of the team, and you can be a part of the team of insiders that helps me guide things around the Conversation Project. The folks that we have in there, we'll give them some shout outs on Friday, are great folks who give me great feedback, and I take all of it in consideration, including some of the kind of Eldon Kidd is a guy who's been following my orbit for quite some time. Eldon's kind of harsh on me sometimes. So yeah, we go back and forth, but his feedback is very, very much appreciative. You can do that as well. You can give me feedback for free by just emailing me at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. But you can go to the website and see where we are and find out links to our other formations, our other forms, if you will, video forms, audio forms, email newsletter forms. And of course, if you need to be in control of something, why don't you control me every day by just going to our feeds on Facebook and X and telling me what to talk about. Engaging the stories gives me the idea what stories are conversational, what stories we need to chat up and put out there. And you literally make the news feeds links every day. You basically make the run sheet for every single day. We've gotten through the news. We got through the business. Let's have some fun today with birthdays, some actual history lessons, and a great affirmation. A great thing to celebrate. Great celebration on the day. Let's start off with our birthdays for the day. And if you're watching the video, that young spry guy is The Edge. He has a real name. No one uses it anymore. So why are we even going to pretend we're going to use it? The Edge. From U2 is 63 years old on the day, and one of the most iconic bands of my generation, and maybe a bit before. Essentially, they started 80s, so I grew up with them and grown with them, who have become not only icons but sort of super duper icons. They're like Stones level performers at this point in time, and all their concerts are in some cases near religious experiences for people who go to them to see the great guys that are U2. Other musicians, boy band types, and birthday twins for the day. Chasez, who many would say was the actual talent for NSYNC, even though Timberlake kind of took all the stuff with his little cute little face and just being Timberlake. And Drew Lachey, the only guy you remember from 98 Degrees, although his brother was there too. 48, both of them on the day today. History lesson for this August the 8th. Going back in time, going back to 74, not that far, but guess what? Because 74 is a good year for me. I was born here, and this is where the trivia question comes from on who was president when I was born. I was born in 74. My birthday's in September, but in 1974 on August the 8th, in the fallout from Watergate scandal, President Nixon announced his resignation effective the next day. That is on the 9th. So tomorrow, Nixon will be no longer president, and Gerald Ford will take over that spot. So the president when I was born, although the president that was elected and should have been president for the time in 74 was Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford. There's a trivia question. When that comes up again, you may win a prize. You may win a prize. In 1988, the lights were turned on at Wrigley Field the first time, making the last Major League stadium to have only day games. Wrigley Field was it's an anomaly on one thing, but the fact that it's been so iconic with the ivy, the way it's built, the fact that people can sit in the balconies across the wall and watch games, and they can do that for so long. And it was such an iconic, very old stadium. The reason why most stadiums basically had lights at this point in time, because they've all been replaced by modern stadiums. Wrigley Field was not replaced. They just found a way to upgrade it so that you can put lights on it so they can make money at night with other people. They weren't stuck to only day games. Marketing, need to stay in the league, need to keep the iconic stadium going, all those things. And in 2017, this is a story we actually talked about yesterday, the day of the announcement of the Walt Disney Company announcing plans to create its own streaming service, which became Disney Plus, which began its life at about $6.99 for a month and is now coming up to, at the end of this month, a price increase to about, I think, $16.99 or $17.99, basically up a whole bunch of money from 2017. If you can do math in your head, which I can't do very often, that is only 7 years ago. And in 7 years, it's gone up over 30%. That sounds like a lot of money because it is. Even if it's only from $7 to $17, it's a lot of money. Let's move on to our word of the day. One thing you can learn today is a great new word. Today's new word may not be new to you. It's malice. You've probably heard this one a few times. And malice means the desire to see others suffer. Seeing malice means really want to see other people really get it. Used in a sentence, if the villain's actions were driven by pure malice, taking pleasure in the chaos and pain he inflicted upon the city. I hope that was dramatic for you. It sounded better in my head than it did coming forward when I actually heard the words, but hopefully you got it. The word is malice. The desire to see others suffer. If you have malice for others in your heart, well, maybe you should go along with our affirmation for today, because you should feel better about that. And today's affirmation is, my potential is to succeed is limitless. Because maybe the malice in your heart is the fact that you don't see yourself as successful. This affirmation enhances self-belief and affirms that your potential to succeed is limitless, reinforcing a strong sense of self-belief, combating negative thoughts and self-doubt, and leading to improved self-confidence. If you want more affirmations, I've got a book on that. Go to your Amazon or click the link inside of this presentation. Search for 100 Affirmations Pain for 100 daily affirmations for confidence or for positivity and confidence. If you want more big words, go to your Amazon and click on or search for a Big Words Project Pain and get the Big Words Project book news edition, Big Words You Ought to Know, from there, 100 words on this for this iteration, or go to bigwordsproject.com and learn more stuff about that. This is a very fun celebration, and this is all about the kid, all about JJ, who loves Mochi. I don't get it, but she loves Mochi, so we're celebrating Mochi Day for JJ. Hey, JJ. Mochi is a traditional Japanese rice dessert made from glutinous rice. It dates back to the 3rd century, AD 2001 to AD 300, during the Nara period. In fact, Mochi is said to be evolved from the same time as rice cultivation. Essentially, when rice came about, they figured out how to make this dessert at the same time. Is what they did in Japan. And the rice is a significant part of Japanese culture, so Mochi is also very significant to their culture as well. History tells us that Mochi relates to Japanese lore, gods and goddesses, and celebrations and art that dates back to, like we said, the 3rd century. So if you're a fan, give it a shot today. If you're not a fan, give it one shot, and then let's say you tried something new. Some alternatives that are also just as tasty, Zucchini Day. Today is Zucchini Day. I'm sure we'll find a way to get zucchini into our home today. Let's also sneak some zucchini onto a neighbor's porch day, because in most cases, zucchini is a very popular plant to grow in your garden. So if you put some on your neighbor's porch because you grew some, that's great. We don't grow it. We may grow it next season. Right now, all the zucchini we have is frozen in the freezer. And I doubt that'd be very nice to put on someone's porch today. And just in case you're feeling it, International Cat Day. Now, I have this love-hate relationship with cats. I'm not the biggest fan of cats, but cats, because I'm not a fan, and tend to hang out a bit. And we have this cat that doesn't belong to us that lives near our house. It's always on our porch. It's always in our backyard, always under my car. And so we don't feed it. We don't encourage it, but we do our best to take care of it because it's a cat. It's God's creature. It's trying to kill us, and it's out there scotting us, but it's there. If you don't hate cats as much as I do, you can celebrate International Cat Day. If you do sort of not like cats like I do, you can kind of scratch your head and wonder when exactly they're going to pull off their plot, because they're all trying to kill us. Those are words I said out loud. So you can send the hate to me as you want to. And go ahead and send it to me now, because we're done for the show today. So you might as well go ahead and get those email machines flying. Email me at theconversationinbox@gmail.com about my hate for cats, my sort of disdain, kind of indifference for Mochi, and my just sort of wanting to pile on Logan Paul because he just looks so Logan Paul-ish. But we're done with things you might have heard and things you might ought to know for this day, Thursday the 8th. Thank you so much for joining us for the show we do. And thank you so much for all the new folks that have come in to us through the YouTubes, and some new folks that popped in on TikTok. That's where the biggest way, the best way to get the quick response to videos and news we're doing are those platforms as well. Not doing a lot of shorts for YouTube because they got to be under 60 seconds and you got to record those, and they're hard to time out. So I apologize for that one. Less hot takes on YouTube, more longer takes on YouTube and things on TikTok. Even the folks that call me stupid because, hey, I put myself out there every single day for you to call me an idiot, and there's there. Somebody put out a reply that's about my Donald Trump is tossing the election, saying, no, it's not. That makes no sense. Your take is ridiculous, even though you said it eloquently and with panache. Panache is not the word he said, but with style. And I was like, well, thank you for saying I had eloquence and panache. Thanks for that. We'll take that. We'll take what we can take around here. Give me comments that way. Send me emails. Send me cat hate mail. You can do that as well. Go to our website, thisisconversationproject.com. Consider partnership and sponsorship opportunities. Make sure you are going to the feeds because I can't do the show without you. I can do a lot of hot takes on things like guys in barbershops not knowing that Kamala Harris is black, but I really get the juice from the stories that we put out there. You telling me what stories are worth talking about, because we can talk about the national headlines all day long, but we want to get some of the other ones that are pretty interesting and may affect you. Zelle may affect you. Things like that may affect you. So you may have missed that because Wolf Blitzer was in Israel yesterday. He was talking about all things about the upcoming doom that is that S show right now. He wasn't talking about those things like that. And no one's talking about Logan Paul because I don't know. They should be. In the meantime, let's wrap this thing up the right way by reminding you that life is great, even if your life isn't seemingly so great right now. And I can understand that because right now there's a whole lot of things that are weighing down on the Payne household and weighing down on folks around me just in general because of situations, including this whole election thing in like 89 days or so. But life is great because the alternative, it isn't. Even if your life isn't so great, life itself. So if you need someone to chat with, find me. We'll do that. Love you guys. Mean it so much. We're getting out of here because we've gone long. Got a long day to get through today. Let's get through for a great day for Friday and a great weekend on the way.